I think we will get started. We will be recording this, so we give the opportunity for people to still continue to join. So welcome to the Connect with BMC Helix webinar series. This is our first installment of the AIOps monthly webinar series. We've set up our sessions until June, but we will continue to do those through the year, which will be monthly. For now, these are some dates as a reminder for your diary, and I will be sending out post-event registration links for these other events. We've got a lot to cover today. So firstly, just a little bit of information. These are sessions that are educational. We want to get started with the basics of what AIOps is first, and we will then start connecting it to the BMC technology. So next slide, Yaron. So today's session is on BMC Helix Observability and AIOps and the fundamentals. So what does AIOps mean for the IT operations and SRE teams? Next slide. So we'll just start with introduction. So firstly, I recognise a lot that are on today, a lot of our attendees. My name is Samantha Hudson dos Santos Figueira. I work as a program manager in BMC, so it's for creating content for our customers, partners, and across many of our products. I come from a background of customer success and relationship management, and the last 2 years I've worked in program management, and this has been focusing on self-solve content, enabling our customers to maximize their return of investment on our products. I now get the privilege to collaborate with many parts of BMC and the business units, which is a perfect segue into me introducing my co-host, Yaron.
Yeah, thanks, Sam. So thank you, everyone, for joining our session today. This is the first installment of our monthly series about AIOps. I'm a product director on the IT Operations, Observability, and AIOps team for BMC. This series is meant to be a practical, educational journey into the ins and outs of AIOps. And let me just start with a story. So somewhere in an IT department far, far away, the banking system is down. So we have users reporting that online banking is down. And for Dorothy, she's in IT operations at big bank. It's 7 a.m. She's at home. She's checking her emails. And by the way, she hasn't had coffee yet. And what she's seeing is that she now has 120 service tickets open. She has an event storm of 3,000 events coming in from 12 different monitoring tools. So if we were to do a poll right now of the people who joined us today, I'm sure a lot of you have heard about similar scenarios and how this actually rolls out and how things happen from here. But let's continue our story. So 7:45, Dorothy is now in the office, coffee's brewing, and she realizes this is really bad. If you're a bank and these days your online banking is down, you're not doing business. You're losing possibly millions of dollars for every minute this is not working. So first thing Dorothy does is, okay, let's get the experts in. Let's get everybody in a room and have a war room. Horrible expression, by the way. So she gathers a war room, she gets the network experts and the subject matter expert for the databases and the servers and the applications and the cloud, and probably some others that I just forgot to mention here. And sorry for any of you who are part of those teams. And they all get in a room and are trying to figure out what's going on. So it's almost noon at this point. 4 hours later, they think they know what the problem is, and it's a pretty simple problem to fix. But it took him 4 hours to realize that it was actually the database running out of memory that was causing this problem. So simple fix: just add memory to the database server, right? Well, no. A little bit later, more people involved, other departments get in. They realized that it actually wasn't the database itself, the server itself. It was an application upgrade or a change that was made over the weekend. The owner's not around. Okay, again, pretty simple to fix. We're just going to restart the 3 pods who are doing this. Fingers crossed, we're going to roll back the change, and we should be fine. So not a great start for Dorothy's week. So what do we actually see in the story? So why do I like telling the story? It's, in different versions, I've heard it many dozens of times from different people in our industry, in IT operations management and in IT service management. And the first thing we saw is that users are reporting online banking is down. So Dorothy is not being proactive, she's being reactive. She has somebody from the outside telling her that a service they want to use is now down. And another interesting thing about this is that from a user's perspective, they're looking at it as a service. For them, they don't know that, Dorothy is managing servers and databases and networks and applications. No, for them, it's online banking. But for Dorothy and her team, they're managing infrastructure. They are managing applications and service and all of that. And there's a disconnect between the business, and as far as the business is concerned, is they have a service, it's called online banking, and that's value that they're providing to their customers. And there's another side of it, which is Dorothy's world, which is talking about the ability to look at the actual components and infrastructure. And the last thing I want to kind of point out is the event storm. So it's not that Dorothy doesn't know there's a problem, right? She has the events, she has all the information, right? She's getting events, she's getting metrics, she's getting all sorts of events, and she has many tools. She has 12 different tools that are telling her that something is wrong. But nobody's really telling her where the problem is. They're reporting information, and it's a lot of information. Think about it, 3,000 monitoring 12 monitoring tools, 3,000 events. It's a storm. It's unmanageable. It's hard. Another few points that I did want to kind of highlight in that story is that we saw that users are reporting the issue instead of Dorothy and a bank being proactive and detecting and solving the issue. Preferably, always a preference is find out that you're going to have a problem. Let's say you didn't find out that you were going to have a problem. You should know about the problem before it impacts users. And the last resort is what we saw in this is you've got users telling you we can't do what we need to do. We also saw that Dorothy was not aware of the application change because Dorothy is working in operations. The changes are managed somewhere else, maybe by DevOps, maybe by service. So she wasn't even aware that there was a change, and it took a war room, and it took getting everybody in a room to learn that. And that's because data is siloed. And this caused the root cause to be discovered very late. So for her to understand what the root cause is and what she should do to fix it took a lot of time. We also saw that the chaotic nature of constant reactive fire drills like war rooms is too resource intensive. It's not scalable. And quite honestly, and we all know this, it makes IT and IT operation people look bad. Everybody, is walking around saying, oh, we're losing business because our IT doesn't work. And that's not a good look for IT. So we saw the challenges and we saw Dorothy's stories, and what AIOps is designed to do is to help mitigate these negative impacts. So let's see how these challenges have the negative impact on your business, and it has this negative impact on several levels. It means that you're going to have unhappy users with low customer satisfaction, which may impact loyalty and ultimately revenues. It also means on the other side that spending is going to go up and productivity is going to go down because you've got your best people, your experts, your domain, gurus busy chasing issues and outages instead of innovating and working on strategic projects. And last, I mentioned this before, IT looks like a barrier to doing business instead of an engine for innovation and growth, which is honestly where we should all be. Now, introducing AIOps into your operations practice, introducing AIOps in an efficient and effective way, the goal is to have integrated and comprehensive observability and making sense of all of that data that you're getting in using artificial intelligence and machine learning, which are the cutting edge tools that are used with observability and AIOps. And we're going to drill into each one of these and what modalities we use for artificial intelligence and machine learning. We're going to touch on it in today's session, but in future sessions, we're going to have the really, really smart people, and by the way, that's not me, come in to talk about the real bits and bytes of it and how we can use next generation AI and ML for everything. So another part of the after state that we want to be in is having the ability to find, analyze, root cause, and fix problems quickly, minimizing disruption to IT, minimizing disruption to domain experts, and most importantly, minimizing disruption to the business and to your customers. You want to go from being reactive to being proactive, fixing problems before they happen, and freeing up all these valuable resources that you have sitting in war rooms today and chasing problems for strategic projects and innovation. So once you start implementing an observability and AIOps practice, what you can expect is increased revenues, and we're seeing it. We're seeing it every day with our customers. Increased revenues, better service levels, and transforming IT's perception from business inhibitors to business enablers. And let's see how we get there. Let's see how we achieve all that. So I find it very interesting to note that many people think of AIOps as adding AI to IT operations. So, some people will tell you, yeah, we're going to take what you're doing now, we're going to put a layer of AI on top of it, and you're going to be happy. It's not that. It's really important, and this is probably a theme that we're going to go through this entire series as we get more knowledgeable and better introduced about the details and the practical use cases of AIOps. So if you do want to go that route, if you do want to take what you're doing today, which is events and metrics and monitoring, and just put a layer of an AI on it, you're going to do what I refer to as something that, as a product manager, I like to share a saying attributed allegedly to Henry Ford, who said that if he had asked his customers what they want before they introduced the Model T, they would just have faster horses. So doing what you're doing today in IT operations management and adding an AI event management is like having faster horses. Observability and AIOps is about doing things differently. It's about bringing both operations and service management together. It's breaking those silos. It's to understand not only events and metrics, but also the context and the services So what does it look like from a service management perspective? What does it look like from a monitoring observability perspective? So let's talk a little bit about the types of capabilities you can get from a true and modern AIOps and observability practice. So the first one, so I'm talking about the column on the left. First one and foundational is to have observability. You want to be able to bring in all the information. So your whatever tool you have for AIOps has all the information that it needs. And the more information you have, the more details you have, the more sources of information you get into one place, the better your outcomes are going to be. You need service context because nobody outside of IT cares about the infrastructure. They care about the services because that's how we do business. You want to be able to automatically detect anomalies. Now, people think, okay, fine, anomaly detection, why is that important? It's crucial. It's crucial because that is your first signs that something may be going wrong down the line. It's like me when I wake up in the morning, anytime I wake up in the morning and I start to feel my throat hurting, I know it's probably going to be an uncomfortable day because in a few hours I may lose my voice and have a really bad cold, but that's just me. But anomaly detection is like that. Second layer here is noise reduction, root cause isolation, and automated remediation. So noise reduction. We talked about the event storm. We talked about 3,000 events. I don't know anybody who can get through 3,000 events. I don't know anybody who can make sense of it. You want to reduce the noise. You want a tool that can help tell you, hey, here is the problem. The problem is probably right there. And the problem is there from an infrastructure perspective, it's there, and the affected service is that one. Automated remediation. So when people say automated remediation, some people think, oh yeah, the system's going to fix itself. It does. If you use AIOps, in some cases, you could choose to have the system fix itself. So kind of a self-healing IT model. But that's not always what you want. You want to have, a human behind the scenes. So automated remediation either means self-healing or meaning that you can help your operators. So people on an L1, L2, be able to fix problems, to click a button and say, run this automation because X, Y, and Z needs to be done to fix this problem because we've seen it in the past. We know what it looks like. We know what worked in the past. And not have to bring in your database guru or your Kubernetes guru in every time you have a problem because he's the only one who knows how to do these steps. So you democratize. You no longer need these very expensive people. And we know turnover of personnel is up. We know that the L3s and the real experts, they cost more. So we want to be able to let the operators have automations that they can go in, click, and fix common problems. And the last one is talking about predictive risk identification, proactive capacity planning, and resource optimization. And in that, what we mean is being able to fix problems before they happen, being able to right size your IT estate so you make sure that you're investing in the right places. And it means mitigating risks ahead of time and being able to do both short-term and long-term planning. And the benefits, so I'm going to go over these benefits in the next slides, but just, these are the benefits that you're going to get from this. And the outcomes, they're pretty dramatic. And these numbers are based on both what we see in our organization, because we do use our own tools, and we're going to have a whole session about that in one of the next sessions of this webinar series, where we're going to show you how we use our own tools at BMC to learn how the practice works. But what we're seeing is the ability to create service models in less than 10 minutes, 90% noise reduction, 30% MTTR reduction, and 100% reduction in issues and outages that have to do with capacity. So let's talk a little bit about history. This is a little bit about history, but we're also going to dive into actually how things work. So the journey started out with realizing that observability and AIOps management are a must for IT monitoring of infrastructure. So two modalities. You want to be able to monitor everything, and you want to be able to manage your IT. So for that, fine. So we have different sources of information here. So we start with topology, events, metrics, and logs. All of these have to do with monitoring IT. And then you have incidents, change management, defects, knowledge articles, and that's about the service side. So the first thing is, okay, we need to monitor all of this and we need to manage all of this. But then we realized also that you need to bring all that data into one place. You can't have silos. It's not effective to have multiple tools. Well, actually, you do want to have multiple tools, but you want all the information to flow into one place. But you also want to bring context into this so you know how you can bring IT closer to the business. So what you actually need is you need something like an open platform that can take all of this information, bring it in, and that platform's going to need some AI foundation, service-centric models, again, having both sides of the coin, looking at it from an IT perspective and from a business service perspective, and large language models. Again, we're going to go into that in a second. But we also, now that we've brought all this information and we have this powerful open platform that is able to consume all this data and make sense of it and do everything, we also need to make sense of it. We need to understand how things are connected. So if I get an event, I need to know where the server is in the topology, and I want to know what the metrics are, and I want to have the logs, and I want to know if there's an incident open. So you can't have it siloed. So you can't say, okay, I have one event here, but I have another topology instance here. They have to be connected, and you have to understand how things work. And for that, you have AIOps and observability as a platform. And in that platform, what you're going to want to have are the three basic modalities of observability and AIOps, which is predictive, causal, and generative AI. So we use predictive to look into the future for things like saturation monitoring, impact prediction, AI and ML, forecasting algorithms, statistical models, causal AI. So causal means understanding the causality of it, understanding where things started, why they're happening, where I should look to understand more. So you have things like automated service modeling, anomaly detection, root cause isolation, service impact, knowing about similar situations. So we do something really cool in our platform, but again, this is a real must for anybody who wants to have a platform for this. It's called situation fingerprinting. So we know how to fingerprint a whole situation. Now, a situation may have information from all of these data sources on the left, but we know how to fingerprint it to know that if it happens again in the future, we know, oh, so we had this happen to us a couple months ago, and also here's why it happened. Here's what we did to fix it. It worked. Maybe we should try it again this time. So all of these are really important. But generative AI also, so the last modality here, generative AI, also lets us make more sense of it all. So what you want to have is you want to have large language models that are fine-tuned to both the domain of AIOps, but also can be enhanced and learn from your organization in order to simplify things. So having a conversational experience, such as Can I go in and when I see a situation, can I ask, hey, which team can help me fix this? Insight, change risk prediction. So if I know I'm going to have a change in, coming up, like in Dorsey's story, where the change blew up everything on Monday morning, can I assess how risky this change is? Things like best action recommendations. Tell me in simple, human, understandable language, your problem started on this router because it had a network outage. Instead of saying, item XYZ22 had error minus 31. Contextual feedback, things like incident summarization and predictive insight. So tell me, again, in human readable language, what's going on and what I should do. And make it so that, again, we don't need all our best and brightest for every problem we have. So I'm going to go into a little bit of example of how we achieve these benefits with all of these relevant AIOps capabilities. So to improve service levels, we talked about it. It's basics, it's observability, the ability to reconcile data. So you're getting data from many sources. How do you reconcile it and say all of this data is for this entity and for this business service versus this other data is relevant for something else? Topology and context, rapid service modeling, it's all crucial in order to be able to build an effective observability and AIOps practice. Accelerating mean time to resolution. So causal AI that we talked about before for root cause isolation. So, if you look at good AI tools today, they tell you a story. They say you had an event here that caused this system to fail, and then you started getting events here, and then events here, and then events here. But it's no use trying to solve all of these problems because the root cause, the one that started the problem, is here. And if you fix that one, all the rest, like a waterfall, are going to be fixed. So that's using causal AI for root cause isolation, generative AI to simplify things and summarize situation and explain to you, again, instead of looking at very cryptic and technical, just tell you, you have a problem with database XYZ. It ran out of memory. And also, generative AI with the whole GPT abilities for actionable recommendations. Tell me, you need to go and restart the 3 pods and you'll be fine. And last but not least, automated remediation. Again, the ability to look in the past, to read things like service tickets, to read things like what have the people who have taken care of this problem in the past written in the ticket in human language to know what they should do next. And last is a predictive part of it, which is preventing incidents and improving efficiencies. So that's about being able to look into the future and identifying risks and saturation forecasts. It's about being able to run simulations into the future. But when you run simulations, you don't want to run simulations only from an IT perspective. You want to be able to run simulations from the business perspective. So if I'm an e-retailer, it would be, show me what it's going to look like if 100% more people go on my website and try to make a purchase, or they put something in their shopping cart, or they swipe their credit card. Actionable resource optimization and recommendation. That's the other side of it. That's making sure that you're not overspending, that you don't have this, 16 CPU machines sitting somewhere in the cloud or even on-prem, and you're only using 1% of it and the rest is just wasted. So all that goes into preventing incidents and improving efficiency. So here I'm going to talk a little bit, and we're going to have a whole session about this next time we meet. So this is a bit of a sneak preview of what we're going to be discussing in the next session. We'll do a deep dive into the roadmap of effective AIOps implementation and how you get there. We'll also discuss what you can do today. So how you get started with this. So, and if you start today, can you get benefits from it, immediately? Or is this something that, you start today and then you have to, to wait a year till you see any results from it? So in very practical terms, what we're going to talk about is how do you start benefiting from AI ops while you build up the different capabilities on this maturity model. And so in the next session, we'll also see a demo. So this is going to be a really, really cool part in that, which is we're going to have a demo and you're going to see some of these capabilities in real life, how they're used, how they go from all the way from service management through to IT operations management and what that looks like. And at the end of the day, again, we have to remember we're doing all this. And as we mature, we're going to do more and better to improve service reliability, accelerate your time to resolution, and have the ability to prevent incidents and improve efficiency. So a little bit about our key takeaways from today's session is that with observability and AIOps, you need a modern platform so you can get all of that information from service management, operations management, all into one place. You want to have something that scales because we all know demands are getting higher, complexity is increasing, there's always more information, more systems, more things you want to do. So as time goes by, you need to make sure that the tools and that the capabilities that you have can grow as your business grow. You want to be able to find and fix root cause in seconds instead of hours or minutes. You want to be able to innovate faster with instant observability. You want to be able to prevent outages and prevent incidents and prevent things like slowness and response time issues by right-sizing your resources. So using AI to predict and continuously optimize your resources. You want to be able to deliver reliable self-healing services. So either services that heal themselves or that the people who are operators at the operational level can go in and with a single click fix whatever problems they see. And the impact at the end of the day, and again, these are the three kind of takeaways, is that's going to impact revenue growth. It's going to make for more and happier and more loyal customers. Service levels get exceeded. Again, this is what we're seeing today with customers who have an AIOps practice. IT operations are not burning out, and even things like turnover and spending on more experience and domain expert, all of that goes down because people are not burned out on frequent escalations and war room and firefighting. So all of that goes down, which is the least fun we can have in what we do. And we're shifting the perception with IT teams from being perceived as innovation and business inhibitors to being business and innovation enablers. So we're gonna have a lot of fun in this series. We're gonna dive into a lot of these subjects, and with that, I'm gonna turn it back to Samantha. Talk a little bit maybe about how we're gonna do Q&A and what's coming up next.
Thank you, Aaron. So firstly, I must apologise. I should have said at the start, please feel free to put your questions into the chat. The reason for not putting them at the start and answering as we go along is just because we're recording this. We want to make sure it's as seamless as possible. So I'm just going to go and unmute everyone to get ready to put some questions in. So feel free to put them in. I think I need to take back the control after, so maybe Yaron will do that at the end. So let's just talk about some of the references. So really useful information out that we've worked with our IDD team, which is our documentation team. So we've made some hyperlinks here for you. Please don't worry about taking them today. We will be sending out the slides so you can go directly to these links. We also felt it was useful from last year onwards. I did start working with other product managers within this space. They've created some great webinar content with some slides, Q&A, where you can see some of the types of questions that came through. So feel free to click on those. Those are available on my community page. We've also worked with education, and we will continue through this series. So anything that's recommended as far as training or education opportunities, again, we will be sharing that with you as well. So that's the first little bit on the references. If we can move to the next slide, which is more getting started. So if this is all very new to you, we know we have a mix of customers that are already using some of our technology. We have lots of different links again. So getting started, a homepage to AIOps, which is the BMC homepage, some example use cases, overviews, monitoring services, and some of the investigating situations. And then we also have a YouTube link. This is additional to the ones that you may already be subscribed to. I put a lot of the content when I work with product managers like Yaron into the BMC support channels, but we also have a BMC docs one. And if you hit on the YouTube link, that will take you to the specific playlist, which has been created for AIOps. So again, really good resources to use. Next slide. So what's coming up next? So we've given you a little snapshot earlier, or Yaron did. If you want to follow the series, the BMC title with Helix Observability and AIOps, if you click on there, that will take you to the community page. Our next session together, as we mentioned, is monthly. We will be doing a session on Wednesday. It's at the same time, 17th of April. This is session 2, which will be around getting started. And then we've got 2 other sessions. I have the privilege working with quite a few different business units, including support. We have 2 RC expert sessions, which our product managers will join, development and also support. So we have those running from next week and then early April. Additionally, as Yaron and I go through this series, if we feel that there is specific topics we want to spend more time on, or we have other product managers that want to present, we will be dropping those into individual sessions as well. And we will be sharing that content for you. And finally, for any other products that you might be working with, or if you're still looking at possibly migrating, if you follow our Helix webinar page at the bottom, again, another hyperlink for you, that will take you to all the sessions I'm running. And I can also point you to the webinar page, which will have a list of everything on demand. Final slide.
So Sam, everybody's going to get a copy of this, and you know, you don't need to take notes, or you're going to get a copy of this and with all the links and all the really cool material here.
Correct. Yeah. And this is our YouTube links to subscribe to if you haven't already. This is where we will be posting this after today. And I will also be providing it on our community page, and I will be sending out a thank you with the recording survey, which is roughly, it will take you 5 minutes. So if there's any other content that you want to see, if you can fill it in, and also some feedback on how you found this session. So again, we're always looking to improve. And if there is anything that is missing, feel free to reach out. But everything hopefully should be where you need it to be to make you successful. Okay. So Yaron, why I take control back, just to go and unmute everyone. We do have a question already came in during the session from Abhijit. Abhijit asked a question on how can these be used to, as a solution for travel and hospitality industry. I don't know if you can see that in the Q&A.
Absolutely. Well, you know, I can't see it in the Q&A, but I can answer the question. So absolutely. So one of the things that we are seeing in hospitality and travel is there's a lot of seasonality. Now, seasonality really lends itself to AIOps and to observability because we're able to learn from the past and make better predictions into the future. We're able to analyze trends better, and we can make sure that whatever IT services you provide to your customers or to your internal users, we can help you make sure that one, they're always there, so you don't run into capacity problems. You don't run into other problems because we can predict them, and we can also make sure that you're ready from a seasonal perspective. So travel season starts, holidays, whatever it is, you're ready ahead of time. And we're also able to do something that, again, I know that for the travel industry and for hospitality is very important, is making sure that you're providing the right service levels and that your services, your customer-facing services, are always up and ready to provide the services that you need. And then if you do run into a problem or you do run into something that is an incident, you're able to very, very quickly find a root cause, fix it before it impacts your business. Any other questions that we have, Sam?
No, we just had thanks. I don't know if we just want to ask Abhijit, I have given you the ability to speak. Does that answer your question? Do you have anything further? Feel free to come off mute. Hello.
Thank you for answering. I think that answers my questions. Thanks a lot.
Wonderful.
Excellent. Thanks, Abhijit.
Thank you.
One thing that I did want to mention, if I may, Sam, before we go on, if you have any other questions, because I know, this is sometimes a lot of content that we went through and we looked at a lot of things, please feel free to connect with either Sam or myself on LinkedIn. You're going to have the link in the presentation that Sam's going to share. Reach out to us on LinkedIn anytime if you have any questions, if you're thinking about starting your AIOps journey, or even if you have something today, any tool that you do have, and you want to learn a little bit more about best practices and how to use it right and how to get the most value out of it, please reach out to either Sam or myself, and we'll be happy to assist you. This is what I do, right? This is what I do. This is what I wake up every morning. I think AIOps, and every night when I go to bed, AIOps is on my mind. So I'm happy to help, anybody who's on that journey.
Thank you, Yaron. I think we have a very shy audience this evening. It's the first one.
Yeah.
And I'm very impressed because we thought we might have to say your time is up and we need 10 minutes left for everyone. So I was very mighty impressed. I didn't need to say, can I interrupt? Because I know you love when you start speaking about AIOps going on about different things. So if there isn't any further questions, we'll give it a minute or so, then feel free to drop off. We will finish the call early, but we will be running obviously this monthly and other additional sessions that are happening. I will be putting onto the webinar page as well. So I want to thank everyone for joining. Hopefully you found this useful, and if you've got any idea beyond June of any other types of sessions, we will certainly consider those and get those put into the monthly, or we might do those separately as a separate webinar, or maybe an Ask the Expert session, depending on the nature. So yeah, thank you everyone.
Very good. Thank you very much, everybody.
Yes.